Hello everyone and welcome back to Coloring with Haley. It's time for everyone's favorite part of the month, or at least my favorite part of the month. It's what I completed in September of 2020. I love to see everyone's completed pages. I managed to get quite a bit done this month. I figured out kind of a rhythm to get into for college, and I'm actually in the second to last week of the first half of the semester, if that makes sense. Our semesters are divided into 8 weeks. So I'm almost done with my economics and my public speaking class. I'll start literature in October. So I may have even more time since I'll have less classes. I did 2 pictures out of the Chibi Girls Grayscale 1 and 2. First one I did here was this cowgirl picture, and it turned out pretty good. My marker that I was using, my green Cali art marker, kind of started to die right around here. You can tell that it started to go out on me just a little bit. But I managed to finish the picture, and I think it looks pretty good. I was kind of struggling to figure out what color I wanted the horse to be. But I decided to go with gray. And I kind of based her a little bit off. I used to love My Little Pony a lot when I was a kid, and there was a pony named Applejack that had yellow hair, and it was like an orange pony with red decorations on it. And that's just kind of what I thought of when I saw this picture, was how much I used to like My Little Pony as a little kid. So I colored her kind of like that pony named Applejack. And I did a little red house in the background, and I used some Posca paint on the clouds, and on her eyes, and on her bandana, and on the horse's hooves. And then there's a little bit of glitter here on the, oh gosh, I forgot the name of them. Well, now I can't think of the name of them. I have horses, and I've seen people wearing them all the time, and now I can't think of the name of them. The spurs. Yeah, the spurs. There is a little bit of glitter. I don't know if it'll show up on camera exactly, but there is a little bit of glitter. I've been trying to finish the first half of this book, all the pictures from book 1, and I'm pretty close to it. And then I did one from the second half of the book. I did this one way back early in the month, kind of just right as I had started college. Everyone was going back to school. I thought I'd do this little schoolgirl picture. I think she's like a traditional Japanese schoolgirl, but I went with different colors. And you know, most people would usually do it in blue. But I went with, my public school's colors were black and orange. I didn't want to do black, but I went with the bright orange. I think it looks good with her orange hair. And I wasn't really sure what to do about the background. I'm not great at coloring interiors or exteriors of buildings, so I just kind of went with a muted gray color. That was the color that the walls in my school were. And I did use Posca paint for some highlights, and on her shoes and her socks. And her ribbons in her hair are all glittered up, but I don't know if it'll show up on the camera or not. And both of these pictures were using my Cali art markers. So those are the 2 I got done for this month. I would love to color this whole book one day. Okay, next I did one out of Sci-Fi Babes, a cyberglam coloring book by Stephanie A. Quinn. And I did Rachel Robot. It says she's 3 computer years, aka 33 Earth years. She lives on the World Wide Web and has a really good memory. These have a little bio for each girl on the side. I really like how this picture turned out. I wanted to go with a bunch of greens, because that's what I think of when I think of cyberspace and all kinds of computery stuff. I just think of green hues, and I think she turned out really good. I did use, again, my Cali art markers, and I did use some Spectrum Noir markers on this. I know her hair is a Spectrum Noir marker. And I used the Posca pen to highlight on her lips and on this headset she's wearing. And there is glitter. She had like these lines running down this black part of her face. And I did them in the dual metallic gel pen. It probably looks blue in this light, but in some light it looks green. And I also gave her hoop earrings some glitter as well. I think this picture turned out really well. I love this book. I would like to also finish this book someday. Next, we did a picture out of Glamour Ghoul Pinups. And I did this one that says Life is Sweet. I wanted to do just like a little simple picture. This one was still with my Cali Art markers. This was earlier in the month before I got my Ohuhu markers. This one turned out really good. I love Deborah's books. This was just kind of a simple one. I've overlooked this picture so many times, and I saw it again. I was like, how have I overlooked this picture so many times? It's such a cute one. I need to color it right now. And I think it turned out really good. There's a little bit of glitter on the horns of this little lollipop here, and on this skull here is a little bit of glitter, and on the heart down here, and the hourglass on this little Black Widow spider. And then I used some Posca paint right here, and right here, to accent it, and I think it turned out really good. I think it turned out cute. She's a cute, creepy zombie girl. I love all of Deborah Muller's pin-up style work, so I can't wait to get a hold of some of her new Halloween books, too. I know I'll be coloring in them a lot for October. And that counts for, I think Nikki and Niagara and Thunder Junkie are doing a hashtag Nikki Spooky Season. I tagged all these pictures on Instagram with it. So I did quite a few pictures out of Monster Babes, a creepy glam coloring book by Stephanie A. Quinn. She has 4 books out. This one's probably my favorite. I really like this one. We did this one on camera together. This is the Nasty Nurse. It says she is 35 human years and she works at the Municipal Monster Hospital. Don't ask why she's nasty. This one was Spectrum Noir and Cali Art markers, I think. And there's no, never mind. There is a little bit of glitter on her eyelashes. And then just a little bit of paint to accent just a few things. This is a pretty simple picture. Didn't take too long to color, but I think it turned out good. This was one that I did pretty early on in the month. This is Gertie Goldfish. She's 40 fish years old and lives in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, and she just recently learned how to swim. This is probably the creepiest picture in the whole book to me. I don't know. There's just something about this girl that's really, really creepy. The fish girl, I don't know. I used Spectrum Noir markers and Cali Art markers on her. I tried to do a little bit of shadows. You can see it in some places, like in her hair. I used the Posca paint on the bubbles and on her lips, and there is glitter. She's wearing a glittery necklace, and some of her scales are glittery. I thought I would make some of them glittery because fish are kind of shiny. You know, when you take them out of the water, they look pretty shiny. But this is probably by far the creepiest picture in here to me. I don't know. There's just something about her. I'm not a fan. I didn't post this one on Instagram, but this is Shelby Succubus. She's 3,500 months, 3 years old. She lives on a secluded island and she loves jewelry, and her birthstone is an opal. We have the same birthstone. That means she was born in October. So, this is her. And there's a little bit of glitter on the jewelry here on her head and right here. And there's some Posca paint on her lips. This one was mostly Cali Art markers, I believe. I don't remember if I used the Spectrum Noir markers or not. It was so early on in the month. I think I colored this right around like September 1st or 2nd. But I think it turned out pretty good too. She looks super good. I'm excited to continue coloring in this book. I think all of these would count for Nikki's spooky season, especially the fish girl, because she's just super creepy. The succubus girl here, she's kind of cute. If you don't know what a succubus is, it's like a demon, so that's why I made her red. Now, I did one color by number page this month. I know, just one. Usually I do a ton of them, but this month I just wasn't really feeling the color by numbers, so this is Mystery Mosaic Book 5 by Mindware, and I did this pinwheel. These I always use my Sharpies and Bic markers on. I just think these pictures turn out really good with those markers. And this one is a pretty simple one, but it still turned out great. I like how this one turned out, and I have one more picture in this book to color, and it is the very next picture. And I kind of saved it for last. I don't always do these books in order. Sometimes I flip to a page and I'll turn it sideways and look at all these colors here. And if it's a colorful picture, then I'll probably pick it first because I want to do ones that are really colorful. This next one isn't very colorful. It's just got a lot of greens and a lot of browns. So I kind of have saved it for last because it's not exactly a very colorful picture, but at least judging from the side. I will probably get to it in October, so I can complete this book and put it on my shelf. I think, I don't own these in order. The next one that I own that I'm going to start coloring in has a lion on the front. I think that it's book 8, but I'm not certain. I need to get the rest of them and fill in the missing ones because I do love these so much. They're my favorite color by number books by far. But I think the next one is book 8. And then I did 2 pictures in Chibi Horror Grayscale, which I had to buy as soon as Jade Summer announced it. I've been waiting for this book to come out in grayscale for years and years now. I really thought they were never going to release it in grayscale. This is the last picture I colored this month, and it is the first picture I colored with my Ohuhu markers, and I just love them. I did swatch them out on the channel, and I talked about them a little bit more in my haul video, so if you want to know my opinion on them, you can go there. But this picture turned out fantastic. I like how the hourglass turned out a lot. I had the idea that I was going to try to outline it in white and make it look like glass, and you could see her outfit through it. And it is all gold glitter. I wanted it to be glittery and gold, if you can see that shimmer there. And there was a little bit of glitter up here on the skull on top of her scythe. And then I used some more white Posca paint as highlights on the scythe. But I think this turned out really well. I wasn't for sure what was going on in the background of this picture. I'll show you the uncolored one really quickly so I can talk about this. Let me find it. Here we go. Okay, so this is what the picture looks like uncolored. You can see that up here is still a bunch of sky, and I ended up blacking that out. I wasn't sure what this here was. I don't know if they were supposed to be big pillars or like maybe parts of her wing are really long or something. I had no idea. I stared at it for hours and hours, and eventually I just colored these things in black. And once I colored them in black, I was like, well, it kind of looks like a frame. It kind of looks like a circle frame. So what if I just colored in the sky up here black too? You can see the clouds in there. That's supposed to be sky. And it came out looking like a circle frame to me. So I don't know what the sides were originally supposed to be, but I turned it all into like a frame. So maybe she's coming out of a portal or something to grab you. I don't know. But I think it turned out really good. And then at the beginning of the month, I did this zombie girl. Or I guess she could be a hypnotized girl too, but I decided to make her a zombie. So, again, I'm terrible with coloring interiors and exteriors. I stared at this for a long time after coloring her to try to figure out what colors I wanted to do. But I think it turned out pretty good. I used a lot of Posca paint on this. You can see I used it on the broken glass here, used it in her eyes, used it to highlight some more of the glass, used it on her shoe. This was all done in Cali Art markers because it was way back at the beginning of the month. And the ribbons in her hair are glittery. I don't know if you can see that. And I did her in the traditional schoolgirl uniform, you know, the dark blue. But I think she turned out really good. If you wanted to, you could have taken this picture and the other picture I did in the regular Chibi Girls, and you could make it a story if you colored them the same girl. Maybe she started school and then she turned into a zombie, but I made them different girls. But yeah, I'm really proud of how this one turned out, especially how the broken glass on this window turned out. I'm very happy with that. I think it turned out good. And then we have one last picture for this month. This is from Crayola's Well Dressed Pets coloring book. This is a cute book. It's got 40 pages in it, and they are single-sided, so you can use markers. We did this on camera. It's a little Cupid bunny, but I said it could be for Halloween anyways, because maybe the bunny is dressing up as Cupid for Halloween. And I used my Cali Art markers and my Spectrum Noir markers on this one. And I think it turned out really cute. I didn't add any sort of extras to it. It just straight colored it. And I love how it turned out. I definitely am going to color more in this book. I think there is a Halloween picture in this book, so I'll definitely get to that. I was able to color way more pages this month than I normally would be able to. Here is my big stack of books. I colored out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 books this month. And I colored multiple pictures in several of the books, so I think we got pretty far. Let me count my tabs over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, plus 10, 11, the 2 tabs that were for the horror book. So it seems like I might have gotten done with 11 pictures this month. So that's good. That's good for me, you know, because I'm still somewhat busy with college and everything. I get to color just in the evenings, you know, when I'm done with class and everything. So I think 11 pictures for this month is a pretty good haul. Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I will have even more pages to color in October when I have less classes to do.